Welcome to Tuesday Talks with Darleen, and my special guest is Lindsay Dunlap from Lindsay Dunlap Coaching. Can't even get my words out. Lindsay uses her unique life experiences and mixes it with her 13 years of corporate HR experience, along with her certification in core energy coaching, which I want to know about, to make a perfect cocktail of support and guidance. She is able to guide her clients through building a strong and impactful team by building trust and authenticity, and in turn improves performance and impact. Now, I'm really excited to talk to you because, we talk to a lot of business women that may be starting out, but now we can actually go, okay, so you start out, now you're ready for a team. How am I actually going to do that? So I'd love to learn just a little bit more about you, and especially the what was it, the core energy coaching? Like, what on earth is that?
Yeah. So real quick, I grew up on a farm in Ohio in the States. So core energy was nothing that would have made sense to me at any given time. But I grew up on a farm. I married a farmer. We've got two kids. I went to my post-secondary, my college career, and was just going about everything that you think you're supposed to do. You're supposed to go to get your 4-year degree. You're supposed to get married. You're supposed to have kids. You're supposed to work somewhere for the rest of your life and be okay with it, right? Like that's just supposed to be enough. So what I didn't expect to happen was in 2014, my husband was involved in a farm accident, and he lost his left leg in that farm accident. Our son, our oldest, had just turned 3, and our daughter was 4 months old at the time. I was working full time in corporate HR. I was doing some traveling for work, and life happens, right? We just said, things happen that you don't necessarily anticipate. And so that just kind of shifted my entire perspective. It was one of, I'm supposed to keep all these balls in the air, and I don't know that I can anymore, because he went through a lot of challenges in his recovery. He battled MRSA twice, had multiple different reconstructive surgeries and things like that, and it's a lot. Like it was heavy. And when we started kind of turning the corner with that after about 3 years, I said, okay, so now I get to figure out what I look like in all of this because I sure knew I wasn't just waking up, taking the kids to the babysitter, going to work, coming home, cooking dinner, putting them to bed, doing it all over again. Like that.
Yeah.
I was done with that part. But there were parts of HR that I really enjoyed. So I've told people for years, like the compliance part of HR, not my joy. The people part was my joy. And I've always had this passion for getting to sit down with people and really like understand what makes them tick. Understand what brings them their joy. Like, why do you want to come and work at this place? Most people don't really know. Most people just know that they are told they're supposed to have a job to pay their bills. So they go and they get a job.
Yep.
But so as I was kind of like on this self-discovery mission is when I found core energy coaching. So I understood the concept of like executive coaching and leadership development and all of that from my HR career. And I was like, I'm going to be a coach. I don't even remember what I know, like what I really knew the concept of coaching was at the time. But so I just started doing my research. I was like, so how do I do this? What do I have to do? And I found my program that I got certified through, and it's all about core energy coaching. And what I love about core energy coaching and what I am able to implement with my clients is there's nothing that you're doing that's wrong. There is no good or bad. There is no right or wrong. It's a matter of, is it working to get you where you want to go?
Yes. Yes.
It all has a purpose. Is it serving the purpose you need it to in the moment? And when we can shift like our perspective of, so you're not telling me that I'm doing it all wrong.
Yes.
You're just telling me I can do it different.
Yes.
Perfect. Because that judgment weighs so heavy on so many people. especially when you're building this team, or when you have built a team and you go, I thought I had the right people, now I don't have the right people. So it can be really powerful for people to, I don't even want to say take a step back, but just reevaluate what that looks like for them. So
Yeah, no, I absolutely love that. And everything you said is so right, because as you can tell, I'm a creative. And so I do mindset coaching and I'm an artist. And,
mhm.
like the right and the wrong, it's like you go with coaches and they go, we got to do it this way. You got to do it my system. It's like, no, I can't do that. I'm multi-passionate and like I need to bring everything in. Yes,
Yeah.
it might be kind of one maybe lens or something, but I still need to do all of that. No, you can't.
Yeah.
Like, I don't want to. No, you can't. No, don't tell me that.
and we're told from a really young age, we talk a lot about limiting beliefs
Mm,
and a lot of different coaching perspectives, and we're told from a very young age of this is the right way to do it.
mm,
This is the way you tie your shoes. This is
mm.
the way you're supposed to eat. It goes, it's really mind blowing sometimes to think about, like, if you really follow this track
Mm,
of when does this all start? It's the minute that somebody tells you, no, do it this
mhm.
way.
Yes.
And you just kind of get programmed.
Mm,
And it's not your fault. That's
mm,
the other thing. Like, it's nobody's fault.
mm,
And that's what I love about what I can give to these clients is it doesn't matter what happened to
mm,
get here. What matters is that you're not happy here.
mhm,
You don't want this to last forever.
mm,
So what does that look like going forward?
mm.
I think a lot of times therapy and coaching can go really well hand in hand. And people will tell me sometimes, like, are you like a therapist? I'm like, nope, I'm not here to heal your past. We may talk about it because it is impacting how you're doing your business and how you're living your life.
Mm,
I'm not here to heal you from that.
mhm,
I'm here for you to take action going forward of what's the end result you're looking
mm.
for. So that's my joys in a nutshell.
I just love it. You're just talking my language. Like, it's so cool. And yeah, like now, let's talk about how we actually, so, we might be a businesswoman, we're starting to get some good traction, and we're now like, okay, I'm actually ready to bring someone on board. Maybe it's a VA, whatever. How do you actually go about doing that so it's actually healthy and good?
Yeah. For me, those emotions
Mm,
are really going to be your indicator of what energy you are coming to a decision with.
mm,
So in my certification, we talk about 7 levels of energy.
mhm,
Again, there's no good or bad, no right or wrong. There are some that are more productive.
yep.
And if you come from a level 1 or a level 2, which is really heavy, that's going to be so much more of those emotions that are almost out of like desperation. There, I have to have somebody I can tell exactly what to do. That controlling,
Mhm.
that's not going to be the most productive place for you to be making those hiring decisions from.
Yes.
You are going to want to be looking at this of like meditate before, do something to get yourself into a productive, like
Mm,
forward thinking decision process.
mhm.
And the other thing that I see a lot of people do, and a lot of times it's, most times people are going to come to me after the fact and they go, what did I do?
Yep.
uh, but you don't want people who are just like you.
Mhm.
That's not going to serve you.
Yes.
And a lot of times in businesses, and it's natural, right? Because
Mm,
like attracts like.
mhm.
You like all of those people who are driven like you, or who have, who love to do the analytics like you do. You love to do it. Why would you want to hire somebody else who wants to do your same job?
Yep.
So really look at, from an energetic perspective,
Mm,
what balances me?
mm,
What's going to support what I don't love to do?
mm.
I don't love to go out and market and sell. So I love to do these types of things.
Mm,
I love to be able to engage with people.
yes.
I don't want to go cold call people. Like, that's
Mhm,
not my thing.
mhm.
my job is like, and what brings me joy is the connection with people.
Yep.
Why would I want to hire somebody to go and, get on podcasts for my business or go up and do talks for my business?
Yep.
I want people to make like the social media stuff. Go do that. That's not my because it balances me. So we're making sure that we are coming from it from a productive energy. We're looking at opportunity. We're looking at what's going to serve and support me in the best way possible for my goals. And what's going to balance my energy? What's going to balance my skills? That it's a good business decision, right? Like you're not in this for charity for most of us. We don't want to hire somebody just to pay them to, not get the job done.
Yep.
So, and a lot of times if you get somebody who's too much like you, then you're going to feel really bad having that conversation of I screwed up. It's not you, it's me, right? Like then it's that awkward breakup conversation. So those are like the two biggest, like if we're going to start somewhere, start there. Because we want to go in informed. Like you owe that to yourself and to your business to be informed about what is this going to yield for me. So
yeah, no, I love that because I've actually been there where I hired someone from the wrong space. Like I left a 30-year health career. I'd started my business before then. Thought, I'll hire someone, thought it was all great. And then it was actually through an agency and the person said, oh, yeah, no, this VA is great. She knows graphics and everything. And then she did something and I went, you've got no idea what you're doing. You absolutely have no idea. And I was really quite like, you've taken my money, you've said that this VA is great, and they're actually not. You're actually training them how to do stuff. And I'm the so I can really understand where you need your energy to be right, and you need to be in that beautiful, as you said, the productive zone. Like that's fantastic. And you need to know exactly what you want. Like I create graphics, yes, but it's not my absolute joy. Yeah, I can do it, but it's not my joy. So that I want to outsource. And how do you help your clients figure out what they can actually then outsource so they can get somebody in?
It's very personalized. Like it's one of those things of, so I do an assessment. So as part of my certification with this core energy, we have our energy leadership assessment. So I can go in and I can administer this assessment for you. And we can say, here's where you are predominantly showing up from an energetic perspective on a regular day and under stress. So we like to look at those stress triggers. So that's a really good tool that we use, especially for those who are very analytical and are like, no, I need a number. So we get to give them those measurements. So again, like, yes, we're going to look at where are you dumping all of your time into your business? Where, I have some people who are like, I have employees who are loyal, like they'll do anything for me. That isn't always necessarily what you want.
Yes.
Because if they're loyal, they may not be happy. They might just be a people pleaser and feel bad that they don't like that they want to stick around and they're still not giving you their best.
Yes.
So to have that energetic measurement for yourself to say, hey, I'm really stressed, because then we get to break up and we get to say, okay, so this level 1 is like 70% of your stress reaction. Level 1's going to be the victim. Level 1 is going to be, I just want to burn it all down and be done. I just want to stay in bed. Like super unproductive for the most part. It has its benefits, but for the most part, super unproductive from a business perspective. So then we get to dig in and we get to say, like, where is this showing up the most? Give me examples in your everyday life where that starts showing up. Because then that can also give you another avenue to say, it's always showing up when I'm paying my bills. Maybe an accountant, maybe a bookkeeper is the best place for you to invest. Because if you're not going into those energy levels, your energy is more productive and you're able to get more done in what you enjoy.
Wow.
So.
Wow. Wow, that's incredible, because there's like, I've seen so many things say, okay, you're ready for team member, this is what you can outsource. But you come from such a different, beautiful angle where you actually do an assessment, and it's like, oh my goodness. Like, other people go, oh well, if you don't like
And it
that,
has nothing to do with your business, right? Like,
I love that. Like, that just makes so much more sense.
yeah. And
Like,
that's the point. Like, it's such a personalized decision.
mm,
And yes, every coach or consultant can come to you and say, here's the 10 things that you can
mm,
outsource.
yeah.
And they can tell you what they would recommend.
Mm,
And when you're in a place of desperation, you're going to say, well, they told me that this is the best place to start, so I'm going to start there.
yeah.
And really, then you're going to be outsourcing your passion, the thing that
Mm,
you love to do the most. But
mm,
they said it's the best place. Yeah, it may have been for them. And
mm,
that's totally fine. There's
mm,
nothing wrong with that. But is it going to serve you in your business
mm.
the best?
Wow. I'm just
No.
like, I'm just like mind blown. It's like, oh my goodness. It's like, again, like, it's not doing it wrong, but it's like my mind is like so open now. It's like, wow, this is just this is just incredible.
I love it when I can blow people's minds. Thank you.
It's like, it just feels so much better, because I'm a real energy person as well. Like, I work with
Yeah.
energy all the time. And so, to have that is it's just incredible.
Yeah. And the liberating thing is it can change.
Mm,
Like, it's allowed to evolve.
mm,
So many people, especially from a corporate environment, you do personality assessments or
mhm,
strength finders, or you do all of these things. People love the Enneagram, and
mhm.
those are very like analytical of, oh, this is just how you are.
Yeah.
So learn how to manage your activities and everything based on this.
Mm,
An energy assessment is allowed to change,
mm,
because then you have the awareness to
mm,
say, I don't like being in that energy that much. So then you start observing and acknowledging where it comes up.
mm.
And then you get to say, now I know my trigger. Now I know the button.
Yeah.
So now I know that I don't want to go into this level 2 anger and frustration and, you know, throwing stuff around the office, because that's not getting me anywhere. So you get to make the conscious choice then of, what's another way? What's a more productive way to approach this situation?
Mm, yeah.
So
Beautiful. Mm.
your energy assessment gets to change, because you get to change as a human if you want to.
Well,
So
that's the thing. I mean, we're changing all the time. Like, our energy is
yeah,
changing all the time, because for those that follow me are aware that I do actually have, mental illness. And so my depression and anxiety and that can affect me. And I've learned
yeah,
how, when my energy is best for things. And so my energy, it does go up and down, not like it used to be. Like, it was dramatic. And now, because I've got the support, then
yeah.
so much better. Like,
And you don't know what you don't know,
mhm.
right? Like that. I always I like almost bite my tongue when I do cliches,
Yeah,
because I'm like, but they are cliche for a reason, because they're
exactly.
true. So,
Mm,
but you don't know what you don't know.
mm,
And so many people like, oh, dang it, I wish I would have known this sooner. I can't
mm.
believe I did this. And it doesn't matter.
Exactly. Yeah.
It's, what do you want to do with it from
Mm,
here on out?
mhm.
Now you know.
Yes.
Again, for at one point you didn't know how to brush your teeth. Now
Mhm.
you know how to brush your teeth. Congratulations. There's no beating yourself up over the fact you didn't know before.
Mhm.
It's a skill. It's a muscle that you just get to practice and you
Mm.
get to strengthen.
Yeah, exactly. And for me, one thing I've learned is, I don't know if people are aware of it, but it's because I was in the healthcare field, I had policies and procedures. So now I have standard operating procedures for things. So if I'm doing something like this YouTube channel, I've now got a standard operating procedure just for these interviews. And it's like,
Yeah.
boom, boom, boom. And it's like,
Yeah.
oh, it's so cool.
And it reduces any type of stress. Like,
Mm,
when you have to reschedule things, well, at least I have a standard operating procedure of how this is going to go.
yeah.
And if you didn't before, you do now.
Mhm.
So,
Yeah. Yeah.
because when you have something come up, when you have an experience,
Mm,
you get to learn from it.
mhm.
And that's all life is.
Mhm.
Learn from it.
Exactly. Yep. And so do you
Some lessons may be harder than others, but
yes, been there, done that.
yeah.
Got that medal. Next one.
Yeah.
Oh, I love it. Do you recommend that, say someone's just starting out, do you recommend that they start doing standard operating procedures like straight away?
Again, everyone's going to be a little different because some people may not be that structured to
Mhm.
start.
Mm.
So, I've done different things. Like I know some people who like write their Postit Notes, to-do list, and and that works for them in the moment. I think what we do sometimes, and we stress ourselves out, we burn ourselves out, is we try to skip too many steps.
Mhm.
And we think, I can't, like my husband, he farms and he's like, I don't plan anything past the first 4 hours of the day
Mhm.
because it's going to change.
Yes.
I like to plan my week. so, so it's just a matter of what's going to be a step of growth for you. Because for me, a book of standard operating procedures may not be where I'm going to invest my time and energy that makes sense
Mm.
for the way my business is
Mm.
structured. For you, knowing I have limited amount of energy that can be, most productive,
Mhm.
I want to make the most of that. I have a lot of friends who live with ADHD,
Mm.
and for them, it's those, again, like I got this list. I'm gonna check off the list. I'm
Mm.
gonna because that uses their energy in a more productive way,
Yep.
and then they can feel accomplished.
Mm.
But it's really kind of shutting out the noise and saying, what's the next step forward for me?
Mm.
It may be a standard operating procedure for how, maybe it's meal planning
Mm.
because that's where you stress out. It
Mm.
doesn't matter. Keep moving yourself forward.
Mm. Yeah, you must be reading my or looking at my unit because I've actually got frozen meals ready for when, my energy's not great. Okay, great. There you go.
Yeah,
Done.
exactly. And you learn from it. It's
Mm.
trial and error. I
Mm.
always tell people, I'm like, practice something.
Mhm.
Don't try it because if you try it, you're assuming that something will fail.
Mhm.
Practice it because it's going to get better every time. And if it doesn't feel good,
Mm.
pick something different to practice.
Yep. Yep. Yeah. So good.
There's nothing wrong with that.
Exactly. And I mean, that's how you learn is practice. It's the only way
Yeah.
you're going to learn is
Yep.
practice. And
Yes.
and I love, for me, I don't think there's anything such as a failure. It's like, well, I practiced, I didn't quite get it right, and let's practice again, and we'll see what actually happens.
Yeah. It didn't end up the way I wanted
Mm.
it to.
Yep.
So I have more work to do.
Mm.
I love to tell people all the time, if you don't like the way a word feels, pick a different word.
Mhm.
Um,
Yep.
so,
Yep.
so it's because words have energy.
Mhm.
We have been conditioned to hear. I mean, again, you go down this trail sometimes in my brain of who really decided the definition of all these words anyway. It can mean anything you want it
Mhm.
to.
Yep.
So if to practice
Mm.
gives you some recollection of, grade school
Mhm.
and, whatever sport that your parents forced you to play and you hated going to practice, practice may not be your word, and that's
Mm.
okay.
Exactly. Yep. Yeah.
But trial and error or
Mm.
attempt, or there's a whole dictionary of them. You
Yeah.
can pick whatever you want.
Yeah, exactly. And it's really interesting that you say that about picking word or choosing definition because I've been going through the chakras. So I work with, I love the chakras.
Yeah.
And so I've been going through them and I'm saying, okay, so this is a word that I want you to create your definition. There's a definition that someone else has come up with your own definition. What does
Yeah.
it mean for you?
Yeah.
You
I
know?
have in one of the business masterminds I'm in, there was a fellow business owner, and she said, I have a fear of success.
Mm.
And I said, so call it something different.
Mm.
And she went, like what?
Yeah.
I'm like, joy? Like you're wanting to experience so much joy because it's really the feeling we're going
Mhm.
after.
Yes.
we attach some sort of business goal to it,
Mhm.
and we say, when I reach this goal, then I will be happy.
Yes.
Law of attraction
Mhm.
says, be happy,
Mhm.
and then you get more happy.
Yes.
So find what brings you happy, find what brings you joy,
Mm.
because right now she was blocking herself
Mm.
because she felt so guilty about wanting
Mm.
success. So just don't use the word.
Yeah.
Call it something else.
And define success your way. Like,
Yeah.
so many people go, "Oh, well, success, 6, 7 figures." Well, what if you don't want to earn that? Like, there are
Mhm.
people that don't actually want to earn that, and that is perfectly fine.
Yeah.
Don't follow those people. Don't,
Yes.
read into any of that. Don't buy into that, like do it your
Yeah.
way.
And it takes time.
Mm.
It does. And again, like, we beat ourselves up so much for, I
Mhm.
can't believe it took me this long to
Yeah.
figure this out.
Yeah.
We get to allow a lot
Mhm.
more into our life
Mm.
than we do on a regular
Yeah.
basis. And we all still screw it up
Mm.
sometimes. So it's, again, just going, okay, now I know what that flow feels like.
Mm.
Now I know what that energetic flow of
Mm.
things are going in my favor feels like.
Mm.
So now I know how to stay there just a little bit longer than I did before.
Yeah, because I mean, if you think about it, we go to uni for 3 or 4 years, and then our first year is practice. So why isn't business
Hmm.
like that? Why
Yeah.
don't we look at business like that? We're actually okay. We're going to uni. We're learning. Then it may take this long, and that's fine.
Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah. Because it's not supposed to be done right the first time. And again, the more we lean into what feels good for us,
Mm.
you're gonna feel that success. You're gonna feel that joy so much sooner
Mm.
when you can really anchor yourself in, what's it feel like for me?
Mm.
And we see so many people, here's the, again, like you said, 6 or 7 figures.
Mm.
Here's what was successful for me. And we're trained in business as marketing, and you want to talk to their pain points. You want to talk to
Yeah.
what, yes, but what feels good?
Mm. And you know what's better is actually talking to their pleasure points. Because
Yeah.
think about it, like, I've got the mental illness, so I've got trauma. So if you talk to
Hmm.
my pain points, I'm actually going to step back from you.
Yeah.
I'm actually going to go, yeah, no thanks. I'm not going there.
Yeah.
Like I've got enough to deal with. I'm not dealing with
Yeah.
stuff. Show me the pleasure.
Yeah. Talk about fight or flight. You're
Mm.
flying away. Like,
Yeah,
you're like, I don't want anything to do with it.
yeah,
Makes total sense.
yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. Yeah, let me get into that ambulance that I used to drive, a drive away license sirens. Oh, gotta love it. And I've got that weird. After 30 years in the healthcare field, my sense of humor is.
I get it.
Yeah. And the funny thing was, I actually grew up with a grandmother who had a farm, so I actually get the farming as well.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like I've adopted, again, like, I did wound vacs and I did IV antibiotic, all this stuff. And I was like, I feel like I have a touch of that medical field, like, sixth sense of humor.
Yep.
Just when people would say, you should go to nursing school. I'm like, why would I want to do this? I have to do it at home. I don't want to go do it at work too.
Exactly.
So I got my taste of it, and
Yeah.
that was more than enough.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. Yes, yeah, I loved it, but I'm so grateful I'm out and now following my passion, which is another thing.
yes.
I was told, don't give up your nursing registration because when your business fails, you need to go back to nursing. Wow, thanks a lot.
Yeah. Yeah.
Thank you.
And I'm sure, probably coming from somebody who was told not to chase a dream as a child,
Hmm.
or who was told that, you would never amount to anything.
Hmm.
Again, we talk about trauma.
Mm.
Those are things that we don't even acknowledge as, you mean it could be something different.
Hmm.
And again, we're always just doing the best we can,
Mm.
no matter what generation it is. We do the best we can. We try to improve the best we can from how our parents were raised. They want to do better by us, and we want to do better by our kids. And
Yeah, yeah. And that
there's always something new to learn from it. So
exactly, and that gave me the motivation to go, well, actually, I want I,
yeah.
I don't like to swear, but I want to, it's like, stuff you guys. I'm going to subscribe. And so when I've seen some colleagues, oh, how are you going? Well, actually, and they're like, oh, it's like,
Yeah, yeah. And you get to be proud of yourself.
yeah,
We don't give ourselves permission to be proud very often. And it is a lot of just forgiving yourself for locking it away for so long and saying, now I'm allowed to.
Yeah, well,
And that's okay too.
yeah, exactly. I did a celebration post yesterday because, like, I sort of like looking at numbers, but I don't focus too much on, the wrong kind of numbers. And so I looked at my YouTube channel and I've had over 1,000 views. And I went, cool. So I did a post and celebrated and went, oh my God,
Yeah.
look at this. And
Yeah.
I've only been really active for a couple of months.
That's beautiful. I would celebrate that too.
And that's what business is about celebrating.
Yes. And if somebody finds that to be triggering for them, that's things that they get to figure out. That doesn't have anything to do with you.
Yeah, exactly. Yep.
So, and there is just really this power and kind of release of how you feel about me has nothing to do about me. So,
Exactly.
so I'll let you do your thing and I'll do mine and we'll both be happy. So,
Yeah, exactly. Yes. Yeah.
yeah.
Oh, I've loved talking to you, and I could talk for another probably 2 or 3 hours easy. I'd love to pick your brain more. So I'll probably end up having you back again because I'm going to have other playlists as well. I'm actually going to create
Yeah.
other things, so I'll probably end up having you back. But I can't thank you
Anytime.
enough, Lindsay, so much for your time. It's been fantastic, and I know it's quite late for you in the evening.
I will be going to bed soon after, yes.
But please, for those people that are watching, please check out the description because I've got about Lindsay and how to actually find her. So please, please go and check her out because, you can just tell from this amazing interview how much, Lindsay would really help you. Like, just go and check her out.
I love it.
So
Happy to help.
thank you so much for your time. I really, really appreciate it. And thank you
Thank
everyone
you.
for watching.